Welcome back to another episode of the Remade Life podcast. In this episode, I'm discussing what to consider when starting a new medication. Yes, it can feel scary and overwhelming, but I'm going to tell you why you can start your treatment plan with confidence while also having a holistic and all-natural mindset. Let's talk about it. Hello. Okay, let's talk about medication. This topic, probably one of my least favorite topics to talk about. I'll be honest, it's a bit of a touchy subject for me because at one point in my autoimmune healing journey, I had arrived at what I believed to be the pinnacle of healing. I had gotten off of all medication and it was a very exciting time for me. And I did get off medication and I stayed off of medication for an entire year. And then, if you're new around here, in 2024, so last year, I had one of the biggest flare-ups of my life. And actually, that sounds a little skewed because really I've only had two major flare-ups in my life when I was first diagnosed with lupus at age 16 and then last year. I consider these chronic flare-ups compared to like the more acute, short-lived flare-ups that just like happen here and there. And I know everyone's experience with flare-ups is totally different. So as always, like take what serves you here and apply it to you and just leave what doesn't. I honestly don't really even like the term flare-up anymore because of the context that it's regularly used in. Like, it's like, oh, my symptoms are flaring up, like as if your symptoms like have this mind of their own and are just acting out of their own will, like they're just flaring up, right? I actually believe what most people consider flare-ups are just the body's way of inviting you into a different perspective of healing. Like I've said this many times before, autoimmune disease does not mean that something is wrong with your body. It means something is right. I know. I can like literally see all the medical students like crawling out of the woodworks right now to tell me that this is wrong. I'm not saying that there isn't something wrong with an autoimmune disease. Like, of course there is like no one wants high levels of systemic inflammation that is causing damage to other tissues and organs. Like, I'm just saying that maybe we need to look at it from a different perspective. Like, why do we think autoimmune disease happens? For me, and I know everyone doesn't share the same beliefs, and that's okay, but I believe that autoimmune disease is actually a part of God's design of the body. So, are you telling me that God designed autoimmune disease, Danny? Like, yes, I am. Because, like, how else would the body know to do autoimmune disease? Like, if it wasn't already written in the program design of the body. So, yes, your cells are very intelligent, but I don't think that they are intelligent enough to act out on their own and, like, make up this brand new thing, right? I think that they know to respond in such a way, aka systemic inflammation, autoimmune disease, because that is what is coded into our DNA. And although this is a very unpopular opinion for most, like autoimmune disease is a part of the programming. Like your immune system is responding as it should to an overload of inputs. And what are these inputs? Literally your entire life's story. The environment you grew up in, what you ate as a child, what you eat now, your sleep quality, the experiences you have lived, the ones you haven't, your emotional load, your relationships, traumatic experiences, physical injuries, emotional injuries, the beliefs you hold about your health, like all of it matters, and all of it plays a role in autoimmune disease unraveling in the body. But autoimmune disease doesn't just like happen out of confusion. Like your cells aren't suddenly like, I'm confused today, right? And they definitely doesn't happen out of punishment either. It happens because it's supposed to happen. The healthy immune system is supposed to over respond to an overload of inputs, both from your internal and external environment. Think about that. Like, think about why your immune system would have a hyperactive response. Like, the amount of, I'll just use the word force here. I don't know if that's the right word, but like the amount of force it's responding with is to meet the amount of force being put onto it. Autoimmune disease is not a mistake. It's not something wrong with you. Autoimmune disease is part of the design. Like, autoimmune disease means something is right, and it's there to show you the way that your life isn't supporting you. So, medication. Okay, so if autoimmune disease is actually a right response, then why would we want to take medication for it? Well, because your body needs help. Autoimmune disease happens because the immune system, the entire body really, is overwhelmed beyond its capacity to compensate. So yes, help is needed, and that help can come in many different forms. It can be a pharmaceutical, or it can be the holistic natural modalities. It doesn't matter, because either way, pharmaceutical or all natural, what you're doing is interfering with the body's healing response, which is the autoimmune disease. Whatever route you choose, pharmaceuticals or all natural, you are manipulating away the body's inherent response. So, if you are currently at a point where you're starting your autoimmune journey and you're starting a new medication, or maybe you're switching medications, or you're looking for a more holistic approach to healing, then this episode is indeed for you. I was inspired to record this episode because over the past year, I had several people reach out to me about starting some of the medications that I was taking at the time, the majority of them being the Benlysta injections. So I want to share with you all what I shared with them about having all the feelings when it comes to starting a new medication. I very well know the guilt and the fear that comes from getting on medication or starting a medication. At one point, I was completely off medication and then made the decision to go back to pharmaceuticals last year. Why? Because my body was overwhelmed beyond its capacity to deal with my environment. Before we get further into this episode, though, I want you to know, if you are struggling with the decision to take medication, I want to assure you that it is 100% okay for you to make that decision. It is not any better, it is not any worse than taking the all-natural route. So if anyone is making you feel some kind of way for taking medication instead of being all-natural and holistic, they are lying to you. Because the way that you choose to get rid of your symptoms does not matter. Only the intention matters. And here's what I mean by that. The drugs, supplements, diet protocols, 24-hour water fast, and whatever else someone is trying to sell you that healed their neighbor's cousin from lupus, all of it seeks to manipulate away the symptoms, meaning that they all silence the healing response from the body. Sure, we can make an argument that the all-natural approach is safer as far as less potential side effects, but are they though? If they're not really changing what needs to change in your life so that your life no longer requires an autoimmune disease, are they really any more effective? However, it can all be used as a placeholder to allow you the time and the headspace to make the changes that you need to in your life. Again, it is the intention that matters. So, because this episode is about taking medication, I'm going to focus on that. Yes, take the medication if that is what you choose to manipulate away your symptoms. And I don't say that in a bad way. Just know that you are indeed manipulating away your symptoms, just as you would with the all-natural approach. Both ways manipulate away the symptoms. So again, one is not any better or worse. After I had been off of medication for a year and I was at the point that my body was like, okay, we need help. I need help. I chose to take medication again because I knew it worked, and it worked before. And I'll be honest, I had a lot of feelings about it. I was feeling a bit entitled about not taking medication for a year. Like, I had felt really accomplished about something so great in my life, and I wanted to stay off medication. But I also knew that my body was sending emergency signals faster than I could take the time to assess, okay, what is creating this response? And I had chatted with a few friends about this, and it really helped me to make peace with the fact that medication is an ally. It can be helpful, and it can be a placeholder to give me time to work through what I truly needed to work through. And this was a practice in trusting that the medication works. And that's actually a huge part of choosing to take medications. You have to make that decision and then own that decision and be okay with your decision. You have to trust that the reason the medication works is because your body knows what to do with it. The medication is not this intelligent being that goes into your body and is like, okay, we know exactly what to do here, like, let's direct the show. This reminds me of that movie, Osmosis Jones. If you haven't watched it, it's a good watch. Really entertaining way to look at what all happens in the body, just how the different body systems interact with each other. It's kind of cool. So I think some of it's accurate. Obviously, it's for entertainment, so not all the things are accurate. One of them being how the medication works. In the movie, the guy takes this medication for a cold or something, and then you see the pill go in the body, and then from the pill erupts this guy who is he is the pill, and he's just trying to fix everything, but that doesn't actually happen in real life. Your medication doesn't have a life of its own. It doesn't have this intelligent brain directing the medication in the body. It's actually the other way around. Your body is the one directing the medication. So, if you hear nothing else from this episode, hear this. The medication works because your body knows what to do with it. Your body is the intelligent being in this situation, in all situations. And I know, Danny, I don't trust my body. Look, I get it. Anytime that I sit down to outline an episode, I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. But I always realize oh my gosh, there's so much goodness to share within the conversation of healing autoimmune disease. And this topic is so near and dear to my heart, especially right now because I just went through an incredibly horrific experience with medication. So trust me, not trusting your body is a very real thing. I get it. And not trusting medication is also a very real thing. It's so overwhelming when your providers are telling you that your body is confused and your body is attacking you. Of course it makes sense that you don't trust your body. But that is exactly why I'm so passionate about this, about sharing why you should trust your body. And also, if you've had a negative experience with medication, what do we typically blame first? Our bodies. Oh, my body didn't respond well to that medication. Oh, my body doesn't accept this or that medication. It's so ingrained in us to blame our body rather than the environment. Of course, it makes sense if you feel like you don't trust that your body will respond well to medication. It makes sense, and I totally want to validate that for you. However, if not trusting your body worked, we'd all be healed right now, right? But we're here because we're seeking a different way. We have to be willing to look in a different direction, and maybe, just maybe, trusting your body is the way to go. Listening, communicating, having compassion, building trust, gentleness. Maybe a different way is the better way. You really cannot have a conversation about healing autoimmune disease without having a conversation about trust. So with medication, you have to trust that the medication works only because it is the body that knows what to do with the medication. So really, it's a practice in trusting your body. The body knows where to direct it. It knows how it needs to interact with all the body's cells. Like, where does medication need to go after it's done? Like, the whole process. The body knows what to do with it. The medication works because the body works. So, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. In case you are not familiar with my recent flare-up story, I had a recurrence of kidney inflammation last summer, 2024. I was admitted to the hospital. I needed a biopsy, and that confirmed that it was class 4 lupus nephritis. And this was the exact same diagnosis that I had received back in 2008. So if this isn't an example of what you don't take care of will come back, like, I don't know what is. Exact same diagnosis. So I knew that, like, what I didn't learn then, like, I needed to learn now. So back in 2008, I was prescribed CellCept, and it worked great. So when the medical team mentioned it this time around, I was like, great, it worked last time, like, let's do it again. However, what I didn't realize, or I should say, what I didn't catch in the hospital, was that the doctors were using the word mycophenolate, which is the generic version of CellCept. Back in 2008, CellCept was just CellCept, so no generic brand was available then, and I had no idea that generic brands were oftentimes altered from the original formula of the medication. This was not disclosed to me in the hospital. Can I sue them? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't had time to figure that out, but I think I have 3 years from the time of the incident. I probably won't pursue any legal action about them not disclosing the difference, but if I do, there will be signs. Maybe a bigger house, a fancy car, a Burberry purse. Who knows? Anyways, so I'm totally oblivious to the fact that I was actually getting the generic version. I thought that mycophenolate and CellCept were the same, and the doctors will tell you that they're the same, because I have actually followed up with some of the providers about this information. I thought that mycophenolate was just the scientific name about of CellCept, and CellCept was just the more public facing name of it. But I had no idea that the formulas were different. So I leave the hospital, I start the medication at home, and over the following 2 weeks, I'm slowly dying. Every day I'm retaining more and more water. I'm not at all feeling better. And this whole time my doctors are it's part of the kidney disease, all the swelling and inflammation. And it's important that I take the medication as prescribed. So I do. But I reached a point where my legs hurt so bad to walk, and I couldn't keep any food down. So I went back to the hospital, and you can actually hear this whole story, episode 20 and 21. It's a 2-part episode about starting over on my healing journey. It was a whole fiasco, but basically I was having an allergic reaction to the medication, and the swelling, although painful, was actually protecting me. My body was pulling all the medication out of my cells and retaining water to hold the medication in the extracellular spaces, so outside of my cells. So it was holding this medication out from my cells to prevent it from interacting with my body. Isn't that freaking amazing? The body is just so intelligent. It's amazing. Of course, at the time I was this swelling really sucks, but when I look back on it, I'm wow, that swelling was amazing. The swelling was a healing response, and it saved my life. However, my body did get overwhelmed beyond its capacity to compensate. I had too much swelling, and it eventually started overflowing into my heart and my lungs. So yes, a healing response, but also because I didn't hear the emergency response, to begin with, I needed support, right? And my body did all of that as a healing response to the medication that was not interacting well with my body. So we go back to this idea that medication works because the body knows what to do with it. Well, the body also knows what to do with it if it doesn't work. Well, then how are we supposed to trust medication? How do we know if it's going to work or if it doesn't? I don't want something bad to happen to me. Like, what if something bad happens? And you don't trust the medication. And that's the point. That is the point. You don't trust the medication. You trust your body. You trust your body. And I'm not saying like, oh no, don't trust any medications. Like, no. I mean it in the sense that you have to have more faith in your body's ability to interact with the medication than you do in the medication's ability to fix you. I think that was a very good point, so I'm going to repeat that again. You have to have more faith in your body's ability to interact with the medication than you do in the medication's ability to fix you. We have gone way too far in the direction of outsourcing our trust to doctors, to coaches, to shamans, influencers, medication, supplements, protocols. Like, we put so much trust in things outside of us to fix what is within us. How can they possibly know? Like, how can all the doctors, the coaches, the whoever, like the people that we put our trust in to tell us what's wrong with us, how could they know? How could they truly know? They can't. Only you can. I was having a conversation this week with a client about how there is so much contradictory information about nutrition, like what to eat, what not to eat. It's also confusing. Like, yeah, because like every single person's body is so unique and so different that people are just sharing what worked for them, and then they're like, everyone needs to do this. Like, that's just like influencing 101, right? But there's just no way. Like, there's no way that anyone but you can know what you need. And she asked me, she was like, well, how do I know? And my answer was, you try it. You try something and see if it works. But you have to trust your body's response to it. And that's how that works. Like, you experience your body's response to it. That's how you know, through experience. And it's the same with medication. Like, you trust your doctor to tell you, like, okay, this is the medication you need to take. And if we're honest, like, that's usually all that we need to hear to take the medication, right? I mean, within reason, we trust that our doctors have studied this and have seen success in other patients, and it's gone through all the clinical trials and whatnot. Like, we trust we're not the first ones ever to be taking this medication. We put our trust in what our doctor says. Can you put that same trust in what your body says about the medication? It's all a process of learning to trust your body, of taking back the intuition that we gave away a very long time ago. So, yes, I get it. Taking a new medication can be scary. It can make you feel some type of way about whether or not you're doing the right thing for your body. But I want to tell you, trust your body more than you trust the medication. Trust that your body will know what to do with it. Either way, whether it's the right medication for you or not, trust that your body will indeed tell you. So you can take medication with confidence, knowing that your body will tell you, is this right or is this wrong? But if you're in this kind of hesitation of like, I don't know if this is the right choice, what if something bad happens? Like, you don't know. You don't know until you try it. And if you take it and you feel good, your body will tell you. If you take it and your body doesn't like it, your body will tell you. And I'm not advocating for you to go take all these medications all willy-nilly. Like, obviously, be smart. Make sure you know the side effects and possible complications. But even with that, like, your body may respond differently than all the people in the clinical trials. Like, you have to trust that your body knows what to do with the medication. The medication works or it doesn't work because your body does work. If you take it and you feel better, you trust that. If you take it and don't feel better, you trust that. Either way, your body will tell you. And I know it's like the scariest thing after you've already felt so betrayed by your body, but that is the healing. Like, that is the healing work, the work that you need to do to change so that you don't need autoimmune disease. It's in the trusting, healing your relationship with yourself and your body. That is the real medicine. The other stuff, the medication, like, that's just the placeholder for you. And also, like, getting to a medication-free life, like, that's the goal for most of us, right? We want to get back to we want to be fixed, we want to be healed, like no medication needed, like we just want to be normal, right? The medication, like whatever modality of medication you choose, like that can be the way to a medication-free life. It's the placeholder for you to do the work you need to do, get in the headspace you need, give yourself time and do what needs to be done. And what is that? I don't know what that is for you. But for me, it's been a lot of healing the belief that I am unlovable, the belief that I'm unimportant, that I don't matter. And it's also like looking at all the relationships where I was giving a lot more energy than what was being returned. And all of these beliefs and interactions have shaped the way that I interact with life, with my environment. And it's created autoimmune disease in response to that. My body has created this disease in response to all of these beliefs that directed my life's decisions. So, yes, I take medication while also knowing that the real medicine is the changes that I am making to no longer need other people to show me that I am lovable or to show me that I am important. Like, those things have to come from me first. And over the last year, whenever I did my weekly Benlysta injections, I made a whole ritual about it. I actually filmed a YouTube video, so I'll link that in the show notes, about like how I did my weekly Benlysta cacao ceremony. So I like prepared a cacao ceremony each week, and I journaled, I meditated, I drank my cacao, and did my injection. And it wasn't this like doom and gloom thing about the injection. Like I made it fancy, I made it cozy, and I made it what I needed, because that was what I needed. Like, yes, the medication helped, and I was trusting that the medication was working. At the same time, the real medicine was valuing myself, valuing my time, making myself feel really important and luxurious and amazing. And I always used like my cozy weighted blanket every week after I did my injection. It would just curl up, and it just was like this very sacred and special time to me. And you don't have to make a whole like ritual about your medication, but you can find a way to make it more holistic in a sense. Like, how can you take this medication and also give yourself the real life medicine that you need? So if you are taking a medication or you're starting a new medication, trust that your body knows what to do with it. Your body is a lot more intelligent than the medication will ever be. And I hope that this episode was helpful to you if you are starting a new medication or currently on a medication. Wherever you are, know that your body is your best friend. And until next time, my friends, be well.